Eliud Kipchoge has been at the top of the running world for almost 20 years now. That's absolutely incredible. He started off as a 5K runner, and now he's in the marathon distance, just absolutely crushing it. He's won 2 Olympic gold medals. He's only lost 2 marathons his entire career. He's run under 2 hours for the marathon. All these things are absolutely incredible and really hard to fathom. So I want to figure out what kind of system has this guy built around him to allow him to achieve these incredible endurance feats and stay in the game for as long as he has, because endurance sports, they're hard on the body, so you need to make sure that you're doing a number of things correctly, and clearly Eliud has. I spent some time researching the system Eliud has built around himself and the principles he brings to the table each and every day, and today I'm going to share 5 of those things, and I'm sorry to say, they have nothing to do with these running shoes right here. Eliud doesn't care what kind of shoes he's wearing. So in a normal year, Eliud Kipchoge runs over 6,200 miles, almost 10,000 kilometers. And majority of those miles are spent running in a group. He has a group of 15 to 20 other marathon runners that he trains with on a daily basis. He says the only day that he doesn't train with the group is on Sunday, because that's the day he spends with his family, and it's a day of rest. But all of his other training is done within that group, and that group is picked by Patrick Sang, his coach. The runners that Patrick picked all have a common characteristic, and that is a great mindset, a positive attitude, and a dedication to the sport of running. And there are a number of benefits with group training, such as a little bit of healthy competition allows you to just push yourself just that little bit harder, but you have to be careful, because if you're doing an easy run, you have to make sure it's easy, okay? Ignore Steven running up and sprinting up the street. You have to go at your own easy pace. And another great thing about running as a group is you don't want to let people down, so you're going to consistently show up. If one person isn't there, you know, and you don't want to be the person that doesn't show up, so you're going to make sure to wholly dedicate yourself and show up every day. So Eliud loves to train as a group and as a community. Those who can tolerate the pain the longest will emerge victorious. Now, that's not a verbatim quote that Eliud once said, but he did say something similar along those lines, essentially saying that those that can train their mind and push through the pain the longest are the ones that will win the marathon race or whatever race. And I think that applies to a lot of different things in life. If we just wholly dedicate ourselves, get through the sucky parts, and keep on pushing, we will eventually become successful. And in order to push through the pain and the crappy parts, you have to have a very strong mind. Eliud Kipchoge puts a very strong emphasis on not only physical strength training, but also mental strength training as well. Through listening to a number of interviews with Eliud, it's clear how much emphasis he puts on having that proper mindset, the positive attitude, the willingness to push through the suck, through the bad times in order to get through the other side. There are spoils for the victors who go through those hard times. Eliud does a lot of long runs and a lot of intense sessions, and those long runs are a great tool at building mental strength. Being out there for long periods of time without music, because he doesn't really like music, although he once said he doesn't really like music, but he does like Kelly Clarkson, so that's a pretty funny quote. Going out there for hours and hours, running at those faster paces with nothing more than people around you and your own mind is a clear and sure way to build that mental strength. He obviously puts a big emphasis on strength training and going through those maintenance routines like foam rolling, stretching, all that stuff. Otherwise, he wouldn't be able to get through 20 years of running at a high level. The power of self-belief. This is something that Eliud Kipchoge really emphasized in a recent interview. He said on his quest to break the 2-hour marathon, there were failures, obviously. They set up that first event over in Monza. He'd ran 2 hours and 25 seconds, so not under that 2-hour mark. But what that did for him is allow him to believe that he could get under that 2-hour mark. Because before that, no one has ever done it. They didn't know what would happen if he ran under 2 hours. So he didn't have that strong belief that he could. But once he saw there was only 25 seconds separating him between that 2-hour mark, he knew that he had it within him, and he had that self-belief, and he carried that self-belief, developed a plan, and he got out there and broke that 2-hour barrier on that next one. So believing in yourself is so powerful, and I fully believe that. I've ran so many different races that I maybe didn't train the best for, but I had that self-belief that I could go out there and finish the race, and I did. The power of self-belief is incredibly powerful. And this next one is a little bit more practical, and you might have to go spend a couple of dollars, but I think Eliud has some good wisdom here. Now, he believes in developing a plan and sticking to that plan, but not only that, he believes in keeping a training log. Keep a training log from Monday to Sunday if that's your training routine, and write how the training session went, how your body's feeling, how you're reacting, how you're sleeping, all these different factors, so you can analyze what works for you, what doesn't work for you, and adjust when things aren't really going the best. And the only way that you can make an informed decision about that is if you have all the data right in front of you to analyze to make those proper informed decisions. So Eliud suggests getting a training log. Go and buy yourself like a little diary, some nice pens, maybe, I don't know, get a little diary that says something like motivational. I like those. They're pretty cool. So get yourself a training log and make sure to write down how you're feeling. And the most important lesson that I've ever learned from Eliud Kipchoge is the power of dedication. He fully believes if you dedicate yourself fully to any goal, you're going to be able to achieve it. If you consistently get out there each and every day, if you don't give up when the time gets tough, if you consistently push through those hard times, you'll be so much stronger. And the only way that you can do that is if you fully dedicate yourself to this. If you want to achieve any goal in life, not just running specific, you have to wholly dedicate yourself. And Eliud Kipchoge is the embodiment of those things. Being able to run under 2 hours for the marathon, winning 2 gold medals in the Olympic marathon, only losing 2 marathons in his entire career, he is the full embodiment of fully dedicating yourself to achieve amazing things. And it has very little to do with these new modern shoe technologies. He has built a system around him to allow him to achieve success. But in case you want to hear a bit more of those running shoes, I'm going to leave a little video up here comparing the Adidas Prime X to the Nike Alphafly, because who doesn't love running shoes? Thank you so much for making it to the end of the video. If you enjoyed it, please hit that like button, subscribe to the channel if you want to see more running content, and I will see you on the next one.